Another Amtrak disaster, the second in 1 week, the third this fall.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. Connie is off tonight. Amtrak is on a run of very bad luck. Today, it was a New York-bound passenger train colliding with a stalled truck. Now, this accident happened late in the day in central Florida, about 10 miles south of Disney World. We are at this moment attempting to get our piece up from the scene of this accident. I want to keep in mind that Amtrak for a long time had a rather remarkable safety record, but it has had this string of bad luck this particular year. The worst of it, of course, being the Amtrak crash in the Deep South in lower Mississippi when the barge hit the bridge that the train was actually going over. Today's accident, nothing on that scale, nothing anywhere near that, but it is serious. And correspondent Bob Orr reports there is at least some indication that this accident could have been prevented.
It's the third Amtrak accident in just over 2 months. The 8-car Silver Meteor en route from Tampa to New York City slammed into a flatbed truck at a highway crossing southwest of Orlando, Florida.
Signals went down. One guy just looked in horror, and everybody looked in horror and thought, no.
The truck, loaded down with industrial power equipment, had stalled on the tracks at a crossing which Amtrak says was marked by gates and warning bells. But the train, barreling down on the truck, had no chance to stop.
The normal reaction is to apply the emergency brakes, but of course a train has the right of way at these grade crossings because they cannot take evasive action. They cannot stop quickly.
This bus is going to Sand Lake Hospital.
More than half of the 88 passengers and 10 crew members aboard were hurt when 4 of the passenger cars were knocked off the tracks. The 2 engineers scrambled to safety.
How's your partner?
He seems to be all right, except scratches and shook up.
For Amtrak, the crash raises new safety questions since it closely follows 2 other accidents, including Amtrak's deadliest ever. 47 people died when the Sunset Limited plunged off a Mobile, Alabama bridge on September 22nd. And just last Tuesday, an Amtrak train derailed near Boise, Idaho, injuring 16. But railroad analyst Bob Banks says there's no doubt about Amtrak's safety record.
Despite these unfortunate coincidences, rail passenger transportation is safer on a statistical basis than any other mode. The most dangerous mode is driving your own car.
Tonight, a Florida utility company waiting for the truck that had stalled on the tracks says it notified Amtrak. And a crew is in the process of trying to move that truck when the train arrived 15 minutes before it was expected. Late today, a team of NTSB investigators left for Florida to begin their investigation. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
President Clinton says Americans are fed up with violence. He knows it, and he intends to take the streets back from cheap thugs, drug dealers, and other criminals. The president took what he called step 1 in that direction today by making the Brady Bill the Brady Law. This new law mandates background checks and a 5-day waiting period for people buying handguns. The law's namesake says it's about time.
What we are witnessing today is more than a bill signing, is the end of unchecked madness and the commencement of a heartfelt crusade for a safer and saner country.
Jim Brady says his next fight will be passage of a federal ban on assault weapons. But the national drive to get guns off the streets may be having the opposite effect, at least for the short run. Correspondent Diana Gonzalez checked out the rapid-fire sales story.
An AK-47 semi-automatic rifle. This is one of the assault weapons on the endangered list at gun shops. A ban on these was recently approved by the Senate and is expected to become federal law sometime next year. That has prompted a surge in sales.
Well, I had been thinking about buying one, but now that the ban's coming into place, I figured it'd probably be a good idea to get one now, before they take them away from us.
The ban will make it illegal to buy, sell, or manufacture certain military-style assault weapons. But people who already own them when it goes into effect get to keep them.
Some stores are stocking up to meet the increased demand. At this South Florida gun store, they normally sell a dozen every couple of weeks. That's changed.
We've sold every AR-15 we could get our hands on. Probably
125, 150 AK-47s.
Another hot seller, Winchester's Black Talon bullets, which will no longer be sold to the public.
It opens up like a eagle claw, just rips meat to shreds.
In Dallas, gun buyers are preparing for the Brady Bill. For the first time, Texans will have a 5-day waiting period to buy a handgun.
The sales has really gone up in the last week. The 5-day wait on the pistols and stuff has really kicked everything up.
So the legal attempts to control guns are temporarily backfiring.
It's of real concern, just as the guns out on the street that are already there are on concern.
Some gun shop owners have different concerns. They are cashing in while they can, fearing they are just as endangered as some of the weapons they sell. Diana Gonzalez, CBS News, Fort Lauderdale.
Elsewhere in Florida, heavy firepower of another sort is getting ready on the launch pad for one of the most important American space shots in recent years. The weather forecast for tomorrow morning's blast-off of Space Shuttle Endeavour is iffy, but the mission is clear: to fix the flawed vision of the Hubble Space Telescope and fix NASA's own tarnished image as an outfit that does not look after taxpayer dollars in contractors' hands. Correspondent Scott Pelley reports on the dangerous $600 million repair call.
The countdown is running on what is by far the most ambitious flight ever of the Space Shuttle era.
I think this is the moment of truth. I think this is life or death for NASA.
For the space agency, the most important payload on the Shuttle Endeavour is credibility. Can NASA fix the $3 billion Hubble Space Telescope that it launched in 1990, loaded with flaws?
Discovery, go for Hubble release.
I think the public is mainly looking for a demonstration of competence, of the ability of NASA to do something dramatically right.
And it will be dramatic, a record 5 spacewalks. Astronauts will install a new package of mirrors to correct Hubble's nearsighted vision, and they'll make repairs to the telescope's shaky solar panels and ailing guidance system.
We'll go from the condition of not being able to see hardly at all, or to see with limited abilities, to the ability to see things crisply and clearly. And that will be a real revelation. It will open up the universe for us.
And possibly even reveal the origin of the heavens.
There's 007. You check the serial number.
Okay. The mission has been carefully practiced. Hubble was designed to be serviced, but no one ever dreamed it would need such a complete overhaul.
This is not like going to Grandma's to fix a leaky faucet. We're going up into space to do the most aggressive mission that's ever been attempted by NASA.
NASA may be trying to minimize expectations, but the Hubble mission is critical to the agency's future. If the Hubble repair fails, critics will ask how NASA could ever hope to accomplish the much more complicated task of building the space station. Scott Pelley, CBS News, New York.
And straight ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, is peace really at hand for war-weary Israelis and the PLO? And Eye on America. Tonight, a progress report on a new experiment to force welfare recipients to work or go without.
Here at the Postal Service, they call me Santa Claus. This is my workshop. I'm in charge of priority mail, which is mostly gifts this time of year. Look, one of Santa's little helpers. For as little as $2.90, you get special fast handling of your holiday packages. We even have flying reindeer. It feels real good helping people enjoy the holidays.
How fast does Ambisol start to relieve toothache pain? Before you can say,
Ambisol.
Canker sore pain? Before you can say,
Ambisol.
Relieve minor mouth pain on contact with Ambisol in regular or maximum strength.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Look to us for special delivery. Call us. We'll arrange to pick you up at your home, office, or repair shop. That's special delivery. That's Enterprise.
There are growing signs tonight that the fragile peace accord between Israel and the PLO may be slowly coming unraveled. Today, in the Israeli-occupied Gaza Strip, at least 1 Palestinian was killed and 65 wounded, the worst day of violence since the historic handshake at the White House. Correspondent Bob Simon reports from the Gaza Strip.
The anger started early. Gunmen walked the streets, their followers threw stones. Tires were delivered by donkey-drawn carts to feed the fires of Gaza. They stretched from one end of the strip to the other. It all began on Sunday when the Israelis shot and killed Ahmed Abu Rish, a member of the Fatah Hawks, fighters loyal to Yasser Arafat. There was supposed to be a truce, the Palestinians cried. Prime Minister Rabin today came remarkably close to offering an apology.
I prefer that all the events of the last 3 days in Gaza would not have happened, and will make a real effort to prevent their repetition.
Too little, too late, said the Fatah Hawks. In an interview and weapons display today, the spokesman threatened to resume the armed struggle whether or not PLO leaders in Tunis want them to. No more olive branches. Gaza today was vintage intifada. Boys blindfolded by a roadside or used as decoys by advancing Israeli troops. A prisoner is taken, a mother argues, the soldier tires of arguing and tosses a gas grenade over his shoulder before retiring.
The way Gaza is going, it'll be difficult for the Israelis to start withdrawing on schedule. But if they delay the pullback, things here could get an awful lot worse.
In an effort to hold back the tide, the army announced this evening it will halt its pursuit of the Fatah Hawks. At about the same time, 12-year-old Saher Gerbawi was brought to a Gaza hospital with a sucking chest wound. Doctors there couldn't deal with it, so they asked the Israelis to help, to take him to an Israeli hospital.
Does the boy have a chance?
10% be alive.
At best, one of the last acts of this weary war, where the same army that shoots a boy turns out to be his only hope of making it through the night. Bob Simon, CBS News, Gaza.
It has become a grim form of currency in international politics, the remains of American soldiers killed in war. North Korea today handed over the largest batch of coffins to date. This is seen as a bid to try to cool off a confrontation with the United States over nuclear weapons. CBS News correspondent James Hattori reports from the border of North and South Korea.
In a somber, rain-soaked ceremony, North Korea today handed 33 coffins across the border to South Korea, the remains, it says, of Americans killed during the Korean War. It's the 6th and largest release of casualties in the post-war years, and North Korea is promising more next month, what many see as a gesture to soothe relations with the U.S.
In the infantry, you bring them home, wounded or dead.
The accounting is long overdue for veterans like Ray Donnelly, who want to know what happened to the 8,000 U.S. soldiers still missing in action in Korea.
I think it's important to the families, to the wives, mothers if they're still alive.
The return of remains by North Korea seems a conciliatory move, but it's unlikely to affect the ongoing standoff over UN inspection of suspected North Korean nuclear weapons facilities. The North Koreans deny they're making bombs, yet continue to deny access to 2 nuclear plants. The Clinton administration has extended an invitation for renewed contact with the outside world in hopes of resolving the stalemate.
It has looked at possible improvement of relations in the future only in the context of resolving the nuclear issues first.
Yet North Korea is just now getting around to resolving issues from 40 years ago.
I'd like to see all of the prisoners accounted for, and just finally just sit back and say, okay, it's over.
But none of the remains returned thus far has been positively identified. The rows and rows of flag-draped boxes don't hold all the answers. James Hattori, CBS News, Panmunjom.
Here's a great big idea. From Presto, professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity and power. Special blades to point and slice thick, slice thin, shred, even ripple cut. Right where you want. Salad shooter. From Presto.
Norelco says don't shave your legs, baby them. With Norelco's incredibly close, comfortable shave that leaves you baby smooth, baby soft. Norelco Lady Shave Razors, dry or wet, we make close comfortable.
Ford announces the news truck buyers have been waiting for.
The best lease ever on Ford F-Series pickups. Now you can lease America's #1 pickup, Ford F-Series, for $229 per month for 24 months, but only for a limited time. These trucks are loaded with features including driver's side airbag, V8 engine, automatic transmission, air conditioning, and the XLT package. Get the best of terms on the best-selling trucks in America. Drive home this loaded F-Series XLT for $229 per month. See your Ford dealer now.
If you suffer from sinus pain and pressure, take Dristan Sinus. It contains ibuprofen with 40 million prescriptions, but combined in non-prescription strength with a decongestant doctors recommend most. Both are available in Dristan Sinus. It'll relieve pressure and ease sinus pain, all without drowsiness. Dristan Sinus, with 2 doctor-recommended medicines. And there is a full line of Dristan products that's right for you. Dristan.
How are children fighting back against violence?
Plus, a look at the best toy values for school children.
Tomorrow on CBS This Morning, Breakfast for Your Head.
Tomorrow is World AIDS Day. To put it in some context and perspective, here's a report from CBS News correspondent Linda Douglas.
Have him call Bob Hattoy.
Since Bob Hattoy was diagnosed with AIDS, his life has been a roller coaster. One of the high points found him on stage, speaking to last year's Democratic National Convention.
I have AIDS.
Artist Mary Fisher, also infected with the AIDS virus, remembers that summer well. She spoke at the Republican convention.
I issue the plea, set aside prejudice in politics to make room for compassion and sound policy.
Both Fisher and Hattoy thought a new day had dawned in the fight against AIDS. Not only had both political parties showcased the issue, the winning presidential candidate promised to wage all-out war on the disease. But while President Clinton has substantially increased funding to fight AIDS, the administration has done little to increase public awareness or concern.
We still haven't seen the leadership that will bring that to us. We haven't seen the priority.
Hattoy now works for the Clinton administration. He says the president does care about AIDS, but his advisors may not.
They look at things in a very practical, political way, and they're always looking at things on, what's that 20% of the undecided voter care about?
But much of the growing despair in the AIDS community comes not from the failure of politicians, but from the inability of science to find a cure. Today, top administration officials announced a new task force to rush drug development. But for Mary Fisher and Bob Hattoy, time is running out.
I know the inevitability of this disease, that I will probably die of AIDS. I know that.
My hopes for a cure are far away. I don't know what to hope for myself exactly.
AIDS activists say even within the gay and lesbian movement, AIDS no longer seems to be the #1 priority. Gay leaders agree. Many of the older activists have died from the disease, and many of the younger ones have moved on to other issues like equal rights. Linda Douglas, CBS News, Washington.
The National Football League today chose Jacksonville, Florida for its newest expansion team. The Jacksonville Jaguars will join Charlotte, North Carolina in the expanded NFL kicking off in 1995. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News. Easing the big chill on the big smoke.
When I was a kid, Mom was always after me to eat right.
And that's what mothers do.
Now I'm looking out for her with Ensure. More than a vitamin supplement, Ensure is a delicious drink with all the nutrients adults need to help stay healthy, active, be energetic.
Drink Ensure as a meal.
Or in between.
You know, dear, Ensure is even recommended #1 by doctors as a source of complete, balanced nutrition.
Ensure. To your health, Mom.
Our health, dear.
Introducing the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. With this MasterCard, when you buy something you want, you earn something you need. Free Shell gasoline. With the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank, average drivers could save 10% of their yearly gasoline costs. Use the card just 6 times a year and there's no annual fee. To apply for the Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank, call 1-800-FREE-GAS.
2 a.m., 36 Pine Street. Apartment 4C has a backache and can't sleep. 3C overdid her afternoon workout and is paying the price. 2C had an aching back, but fortunately she also has Tylenol PM gel caps with extra strength Tylenol pain reliever, plus a gentle ingredient to help her sleep. and a good night's sleep was all she needed to make her day a whole lot brighter. Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
His baby was put up for adoption without his consent. Will he get him back? Find out on I Want My Baby, an all-new 48 Hours Wednesday.
President Clinton's next target for an overhaul is welfare. His plan is due out in January, and one goal will be to shift as many people as possible from welfare rolls to payrolls. But can this be done? Well, at least one state is already trying, as correspondent Jacqueline Adams reports in tonight's Eye on America.
From the state capitol in Madison,
we're saying that welfare doesn't work,
to the streets of inner-city Milwaukee.
It's broke, and we got to get rid of it.
Nowhere in this country is the call for drastic welfare reform louder than in Wisconsin.
Some people on welfare make more money than people that are working. Good morning, gentlemen.
Republican Governor Tommy Thompson boasts that after 7 years in office, his reforms have trimmed 19,000 cases from the state's welfare rolls. His latest experiment, Work, Not Welfare, requires recipients to work for their benefits and cuts off cash assistance after 2 years.
Work, Not Welfare is a hand up, not a handout, and it's to break the shackles of dependency, give people hope, give them optimism, get them off of welfare back into the marketplace.
Good afternoon, Albany, Chicago.
Deanne Janka proves it can be done. A high school dropout, this single mother of two is now working as a receptionist, no longer dependent on welfare. She credits her success to an innovative training program that steers 91% of its participants off welfare and into the workplace within 2 years.
Now that I'm on the other end, I can say, get a job. I know you can. You can't give me an excuse why you're not working.
In theory, it sounds great. Force welfare recipients to find jobs and save taxpayer dollars at the same time. But in many poor neighborhoods, the reality is there are no jobs. Many here fear that any plan to replace welfare with work will inevitably turn into a plan to replace welfare with nothing.
The problem is that it doesn't provide an adequate safety net for people who cannot find jobs.
Attorney Pat D'Alessio has successfully challenged previous Thompson welfare reforms in court.
A true Work Not Welfare program would mean that we're going to give you the support you need to obtain employment. And then if you can't find employment through your best efforts, we're going to give you a job, a meaningful job that allows you to support your family.
You're going to have some problem on the test.
Beyond jobs, welfare recipients say without continuing education and long-term child and health care, Work Not Welfare is just another name for penalizing the poor. Welfare recipient Latrice Howard.
I think they're making us the scapegoat. I think that welfare only constitutes a small part of tax dollars. They've created political platforms on the backs of welfare mothers, and I don't think that it's fair.
The old way is done with. We've had it for too long.
Led by State Representative Antonio Riley, once a welfare recipient himself, Wisconsin Democrats want to go even further. Scrap the welfare system, they say, and start over with programs that create good jobs in the neighborhoods where the poor live.
If we commit the resources that we are now committing to maintain this colossal giant of welfare that does nothing for people, if we commit that kind of energy and resources to trying to create jobs, we can put people to work.
While it drafts a national package of reforms, the Clinton administration is keeping a close eye on the debate in Wisconsin. It hopes the state's experiments will provide answers to the real dilemma of welfare reform: how to encourage the poor to leave welfare for work without hurting those the system was intended to protect. In Milwaukee, this is Jacqueline Adams for Eye on America.
Hey, Remington, shave this.
If you can grow it, we can shave it. Remington introduces the Triple Foil. The only shaver with 3 narrow microscreens to cross-cut each whisker 3 times. For hard-to-shave places on hard-to-shave faces. No one else has anything like the Remington Triple Foil.
If you can grow it, we can shave it.
Here at the Postal Service, they call me Santa Claus. This is my workshop. I'm in charge of priority mail, which is mostly gifts this time of year. Look, one of Santa's little helpers. For as little as $2.90, you get special fast handling of your holiday packages. We even have flying reindeer. It feels real good helping people enjoy the holidays.
Now we're filling these fruit and nut cereals with more of your favorite fruits and nuts. 25% more. Filling more clusters of crunchy nuts into clusters. More nut-covered raisins into Raisin Nut Bran. More fruits and nuts into Basic 4. More crunchy almonds or real apples into these oatmeal crisp cereals. Now these favorites are filled with more fruits and nuts. 25% more. Look for these specially marked boxes.
The new Accord EX Coupe. There's more horsepower. Handling and comfort are perfectly balanced. It has dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. We've taken it about as far as you can go. The new Accord EX Coupe from Honda.
Finally tonight, a rare glimpse at a seldom-seen event. CBS News cameras caught the action as an endangered species was sighted in its natural habitat, making what looked like a comeback. The environment, a real smoke-filled room. Correspondent Anthony Mason reports on a convention that's sure to take your breath away.
An evening to celebrate the cigar, the Big Smoke it was called, an event that gleefully,
cheers. No, Mom, I'm not here today,
blew smoke in the face of this anti-smoking age. Last night, elbow to elbow, in the sprawling grand ballroom of a New York hotel, 2,500 cigar lovers sampled, savored, and generally stank up the joint.
It's like being in a candy store.
Fans cleared the air, and there were no complaints.
Normally, if you go into a restaurant or someplace, you pull out a cigar, people want to stab you to death.
The cigar industry has been in decline for decades.
30 years ago, Americans smoked 9 billion big cigars. Last year, just 2 billion. And the industry is worried the Clinton tobacco tax could snuff out any hope of a real recovery.
Cheap cigars are still struggling, but recently premium cigar makers haven't been able to roll out the Churchills fast enough. Suddenly, to the industry's surprise, sales are up. And when the new Cigar Aficionado magazine hit the newsstands, it sold a stunning 100,000 copies.
In a way, the magazine has given permission to people to go public and to light up.
Who's buying those expensive cigars? The magazine found smokers are getting younger, wealthier, but it's still mostly an all-male club. Mostly. Secretly, the president has been known to chew a few, but smoking is banned in the White House.
A cigar smoker is not looking for confrontation. He's looking for peace.
Last night, they found peace in a grand ballroom.
Heaven in a hotel.
Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
And that's part of our world tonight. Coming up tomorrow on CBS This Morning, a campaign to put warning labels on violent video games. For Connie Chung and all of us at the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
This is CBS.
Attention all stations concerned. There will be an update of the CBS Evening News.